Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're taking an in-depth look at one of the most talked about infrastructure projects in the United States, the controversial interstate expansion in Houston, Texas. This project has sparked widespread debate, touching on critical issues such as urban growth, environmental impact, social justice, and the future of transportation in one of America's fastest-growing cities. So stick with us as we unpack the details, the debates, and what the future might hold for Houston's interstate expansion. The growth of Houston. Why expansion was proposed. Houston is a city known for its sprawling landscapes and rapid growth. As the fourth largest city in the United States, Houston has experienced an explosion in population over the past few decades. And with that growth comes increasing pressure on its infrastructure, especially its transportation systems. The city's highways are some of the busiest in the country, and the growing number of vehicles has led to longer commutes, increased traffic congestion, and rising levels of pollution. To address these challenges, local and state officials proposed an ambitious plan to expand several key interstate highways running through Houston, with the most significant being the expansion of Interstate 45 I-45, also known as the North Houston Highway Improvement Project. The proposal is part of a broader strategy to expand and upgrade the city's interstate system to accommodate current and future traffic demands. The logic behind the expansion seems simple. More lanes should lead to reduced traffic congestion, shorter commute times, and improved travel efficiency. However, this seemingly straightforward solution has sparked intense debate among Houstonians, urban planners, environmentalists, and social justice advocates. The project scope. What's on the table? The North Houston Highway Improvement Project represents a massive undertaking that would reshape a large swath of the city. The plan calls for expanding and rerouting sections of I-45, I-10, and I-69, some of Houston's most critical transportation arteries. The project spans over 24 miles and includes the reconstruction of major interchanges, the addition of new lanes, and significant realignment of existing roadways. A key feature of the project is the proposal to reroute I-45 along the I-69 corridor through downtown Houston. This would involve constructing new elevated lanes and demolishing existing infrastructure to make way for the expanded freeway. The plan also includes widening I-45 north of downtown from 8 lanes to as many as 12 lanes in certain areas, with the goal of accommodating more vehicles and easing congestion. Safety improvements are also part of the project's objectives. These include redesigning critical interchanges to reduce accidents, as well as adding managed lanes that could be used for high-occupancy vehicles (HOVs) or toll lanes in the future. The Texas Department of Transportation (TxDOT) contends that these upgrades are necessary to meet the region's growing transportation needs and enhance overall traffic safety. The environmental and social backlash. Despite the potential benefits touted by proponents, the interstate expansion project has faced fierce opposition, particularly concerning its environmental and social impacts. One of the most significant criticisms is the potential increase in air pollution. Houston already struggles with air quality issues, largely due to its industrial base and heavy vehicular traffic. Critics argue that adding more lanes and encouraging more cars on the road will only worsen these problems, leading to higher levels of smog and associated health risks. Another major environmental concern is the potential impact on flood risk. Houston's history with flooding is well documented, with devastating events like Hurricane Harvey in 2017 leaving a lasting impact on the city. The expansion would involve substantial changes to the city's drainage systems, leading to fears that it could exacerbate flooding in some areas. Opponents of the project argue that TxDOT's plans do not sufficiently address these risks, potentially setting the stage for more severe flooding events in the future. The social implications of the project are equally concerning, particularly regarding its impact on low-income and minority communities. The expansion would require the demolition of homes, businesses, and community spaces in several neighborhoods, many of which have historically been home to Black and Hispanic residents. This has led to accusations of environmental racism, with critics arguing that the project disproportionately affects communities of color, who are already vulnerable to displacement and marginalization. Neighborhoods like Independence Heights, the North Side, and the Fifth Ward are at particular risk. These communities have faced decades of disinvestment and neglect, and residents fear that the highway expansion will further erode their neighborhoods. The potential for displacement, loss of affordable housing, and the destruction of community ties are among the primary concerns voiced by local activists and residents. For many, the expansion represents not just an infrastructure project, but a threat to their homes, livelihoods, and cultural heritage. Legal and political challenges, the battle lines drawn. The controversy over Houston's interstate expansion has led to a series of legal and political battles. Several lawsuits have been filed against TXDOT, arguing that the project violates federal environmental and civil rights laws. These legal challenges have been brought by community groups, environmental organizations, and even the city of Houston itself, which has raised concerns about the adequacy of the environmental reviews and the lack of meaningful public consultation. One of the most significant legal developments occurred in 2021, when the Federal Highway Administration FHWA intervened to pause the project. The FHWA cited potential civil rights violations, particularly the adverse effects on minority communities, as a key reason for the halt. This federal intervention effectively put the project on hold, pending further review and potentially significant revisions. This move was a major victory for opponents of the expansion, but it also highlighted the deep divisions between different levels of government. While local officials, including Houston's mayor, have voiced concerns about the project's impact on communities, state officials, including the Texas governor, have strongly supported the expansion. They argue that the project is essential for the region's economic growth and mobility, and that delaying it can have serious consequences for the city's future. The political battle has extended into the media, with both supporters and opponents of the project making their case to the public. Proponents argue that the expansion is critical to addressing Houston's traffic woes and supporting its continued growth as a major economic hub. They contend that the project will bring much-needed relief to commuters and enhance the city's infrastructure for decades to come. On the other hand, opponents counter that the project represents an outdated approach to urban development, one that prioritizes cars over people and exacerbates existing inequalities in the city. The larger debate, rethinking urban transportation. The controversy over Houston's interstate expansion is part of a broader national conversation about the future of urban transportation and infrastructure. For decades, cities across the United States have pursued highway expansion projects as a solution to congestion and growing populations. However, there is increasing evidence that these projects often fail to deliver on their promises and can lead to unintended consequences. One of the key issues in this debate is the concept of induced demand. This theory suggests that increasing highway capacity by adding lanes may actually encourage more people to drive, ultimately leading to even more congestion over time. In other words, instead of alleviating traffic, expanding highways can create a cycle of dependence on car travel, which can undermine efforts to promote more sustainable forms of transportation. Critics of the Houston expansion argue that it is likely to fall into this trap. They contend that any short-term reduction in congestion will be offset by increased traffic in the long run as more drivers take to the roads. Moreover, they argue that the billions of dollars allocated for the expansion could be better spent on alternative transportation solutions that are more sustainable and equitable. In this context, many urban planners and transportation experts are advocating for a shift away from car-centric infrastructure. They argue that cities should focus on developing public transit, biking, and walking options that reduce the need for driving and promote healthier, more livable urban environments. This perspective is gaining traction in cities across the country, where efforts to reduce car dependency are being explored through investments in transit systems, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly infrastructure. Alternative solutions. Rethinking the path forward. As the debate over the interstate expansion continues, various alternative solutions have been proposed. These alternatives aim to address the underlying issues of congestion and mobility, while minimizing the negative impacts on communities and the environment. One of the most prominent alternatives is increased investment in public transit. Houston's public transit system, operated by Metro, has undergone significant improvements in recent years, including the expansion of light rail lines and the introduction of bus rapid transit BRT routes. Advocates argue that further investment in public transit could provide a more sustainable solution to the city's transportation challenges, reducing the need for highway expansion. Another alternative is the adoption of complete streets policies that prioritize all modes of transportation, not just cars. This could involve expanding the city's network of bike lanes, improving pedestrian infrastructure, and redesigning streets to be safer and more accessible for everyone. Proponents argue that these changes would encourage more people to walk, bike, or take public transit, thereby reducing congestion and improving overall quality of life. There is also growing interest in road pricing as a tool for managing congestion. This could involve implementing tolls or congestion charges on certain highways, or during peak travel times, which would incentivize drivers to use alternative modes of transportation or travel at less congested times. Supporters of road pricing argue that it is a more effective way to manage demand for highway space than simply expanding capacity. As for the future of the North Houston Highway Improvement Project, much remains uncertain. The ongoing legal challenges and federal review process could lead to significant changes to the project or even its cancellation. However, it is clear that the debate over the project has sparked a broader conversation about the future of transportation and urban development in Houston. Whatever the outcome, the controversy over the interstate expansion serves as a powerful reminder of the complex and often contentious nature of infrastructure projects in modern cities. Balancing the need for mobility with concerns about equity, sustainability, and community preservation is no easy task, but it is essential for building cities that work for everyone. Conclusion: the road ahead for Houston. The controversy over the interstate expansion in Houston highlights the challenges of modern urban planning in a rapidly growing city. While the need for improved transportation infrastructure is undeniable, the approach to addressing these needs is anything but clear-cut. As the debate continues, Houstonians are being asked to consider what kind of city they want to live in, a city built for cars or one that prioritizes people and communities. As we look to the future, it's crucial to think critically about the trade-offs involved in such massive projects. Will the benefits of reduced congestion and improved mobility outweigh the environmental and social costs? Or is it time to explore more innovative and sustainable solutions to the challenges of urban growth? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into one of the most significant infrastructure debates in the country. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious about the future of our cities.